Well, welcome back to the Damn Yankee Blacksmith. Well, today we are going to talk about something that a lot of people get wrong when they're at a flea market looking for new tools for their new hobby of blacksmithing. We're going to look down here, and these items, which all look remotely like hammers, are not hammers. They each have a use, and it is not for swinging and smashing things. The first one we're going to look at is simply a punch. It's designed to punch a hole. And this is not a hammerhead. This is the impact point. This is where you hit it with another sledgehammer. This is called a flatter. It's called a set tool. It is a member of the set tool group. The flatter has about a 3-inch rounded, relatively flat surface. It allows you to take all the hammer marks out of a piece of work. Now, there are people that can just use a regular hammer and make things real smooth. I'm not one of them. So what you do is, after you have a lot of hammer marks in your piece of metal, you'll lay this on top of it, and a helper will strike that with a sledgehammer, and you will get a nice smooth surface. Now, something that looks a lot like the punch, but serves a different purpose. Once you have a punch, you'll note the punch has a long, narrow, evenly spaced point. That will give you a nice rounded circle, or a nice even circle. Then you would place a drift, which is what this is, in that same hole right there, and then you would drive this through. Now, somebody mistakenly thought this looked like a war hammer, so they put a really long handle on it. I am not going to remove that handle. I'm just going to be able to step way back when somebody else is slamming through on that with a sledgehammer. But I will be able to put the eyes for other hammerheads in with that tool. Then we have a cutter. This is the most commonly misunderstood or misidentified item at flea markets and the such. It has a rounded head, looks like a hammer. It has a very sharp edge here. It looks like a chisel. Well, that's exactly what it's used for. A cutter, if I wanted to either mark or actually sever a piece of steel, and it is hot, I would hold this out on top of it like that, and then the sledgehammer comes down on that edge, cutting it in half. Now, there's another tool which I would be glad to show you, but it was among the tools that got stolen last month. It's called a fuller. Now, the fuller is a handled version of this tool. This tool sets inside the square hole on the anvil. This is called a bottom fuller. A top fuller would look very much like this, only it would be like that, and this would be a much heavier piece with a eyelet punched with this and then drifted with this to make a large piece like this. See how all this stuff works together? The top fuller would be used in conjunction with a bottom fuller and give you a nice even space that would look, see how that hammerhead is? If you take this and you have a top and a bottom, see how that works? You can go all the way around and give yourself a nice even neck down area. And that is not a hammer. 101 for blacksmithing. Now these, I'm going to go over what is a hammer real quick. This is a Swedish style cross peen hammer. That's the face of the hammer. That's the peen of the hammer. It's Swedish style because it is centered right down the middle for the peen. A Czechoslovakian style comes up way up here. Now, by calling that a peen, you have some hammers can have two peens. This has a straight peen and a cross peen, but it doesn't have a face. So this hammer's got two ends, but no front. This is what you have heard called a ball peen hammer. It has a rounded peen and a standard hammer face. Well, that's it for right now, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.